Hello, one and all. That is right. The end of our book is nigh. Well, the end of our play is nigh. And we wrapped up with some kind of weird stuff there in Act 4, Scene 3, the longest scene of the act. And it's basically just an interaction between Macduff and Malcolm. Remember, Malcolm is the son of King Duncan, who is named Prince. Well, that means that he's next in line for the throne, and Macbeth cheated him out of that. And so we have this conversation between him and Macduff is like, "Yeah, I abandoned my wife for you, man. What are we gonna do?" And he's like, "It's fine. I appreciate you doing that, but I'm a terrible king." And Malcolm goes on about how he doesn't deserve to be king and how he's kind of a guy who likes women a little too much, or he's much too greedy. That's what the word avarice mean, or avaricious means. Though both of them come up. And we also have this word that sounds a lot like the N word, which actually just means stingy or a penny pincher. It does not mean the N word. It is a completely different word that came up from a completely different era and etymologically is entirely unique. But what we do have is throughout that, even after Malcolm goes on and on about how he's a terrible king, he's a little bit too into women, he's a little too greedy. If you give a mouse a cookie, it's going to want a glass of milk type of situation. Well, Macduff says, then we're done for. Then a tyrant will be a tyrant. And Malcolm finally says, "No, Macduff, I am none of those things. In fact, I've never been with a woman." He goes on and he's like, "I am not greedy. I don't want for anything. My one desire is to be a servant for the people and to be a religious, pious person." And that brings Macduff, of course, lots of joy because he knows he wants to, oh, my apologies. Hold on just a sec. Oh, something stuck in my throat. Uh, but he knows that he wants his crown back. He wants his kingdom back. He wants Macbeth gone because he is a bloody tyrant. Macduff goes so far to say is that there is not a single soul in all of hell that is worse than Macbeth, which is pretty significant. And then, of course, his cousin Ross comes in. Ross is that guy who's talking with Lady Macduff and her son early in scene 2. And he's like, Ross, give us the good news. And Ross basically tells him and the king that everything is chaos and bloody, and their highest form of modern ecstasy or their modern pleasure is the day that is just full of sorrow and not any more bloodshed, which is pretty bleak. And so they're all upset about that. And this is the interaction that uses that N word that is not the N word, where Malcolm or Macduff says, "Well, please don't be stingy with your words." And Ross is like, "Oh, okay, okay." Tells him the story, and then finally he tells a lie at first that that Macduff's family is still alive, but finally he gives in and he said, "Macduff, please don't hate me for the words I'm about to say. I'm merely the messenger, but Macbeth killed your entire family and then had your entire castle killed. And this absolutely devastates Macduff, and reasonably so." And Macduff says, "Oh, well, then it's going to go down and we're going to kill Macbeth." And Malcolm, of course, that's the whole reason that he's in England, is he goes and he begs the king for troops and men. And this man named Seward, Siward, I believe it's Seward, gives him, obviously, Seward himself as a leader of the army, and 10,000 men. Just, England loaning out 10,000 dudes, a small army, to go and attack Macbeth and take back the throne. And then that's where we left off. And then that brings us to Act 5, which I would like us to get started with today. We're going to see a lot of characters, and this last act is going to fly by. And I provided the Act 4 notes for you, so if you'd like to go back, test your knowledge, check those real quick, those are there. But For the rest of this, we are going to start Act 5. I'm also going to provide you with the Act 5 notes tomorrow. So if you'd like to do it as you read as opposed to a review sort of thing, then that's totally acceptable. It's there for you to do. And just if you have any questions, let me know. Of course, I'll be reviewing and going over the couple of scenes that I would like you to read. The scenes here are short, but there's a bunch of them. There's like 8 scenes, I think. So just, be aware of that. Be cautious of that. It's going to come right up on us. And because the scenes are short, it's going to make it feel like things are moving very quickly. And they are. So take a look at that. We're just reading scenes 1, 2, and 3 today. If you only get seen through scenes 1 and 2, totally acceptable, totally understand. Have fun, enjoy the rest of this play, and I'll see you all very soon.